We all understand the type of climate that we're dealing with. We're dealing with multiple offer situations.
I'd love to know sort of what's your why? What makes you tick? Why are you so successful?
Have a dialogue with your lawyer. Have a dialogue with your agent.
Both sort of passionate about sort of what we do.
Again, vet your agent to make sure that they're experienced and they're local. I like that idea.
No excuse to miss it on Saturdays from 8 to 9.
That's right.
WBZ.
And now, the show that gives you the latest and most relevant housing market news. Real Estate Radio Boston with financial expert Rick Scherer and legal professional Ali Alavi.
It's already starting to be such a great year. And we're at what? Couple weeks into it?
Couple of weeks into it. And I mean, there's just a sort of a very unique buzz in the industry. You talk to real estate agents, you talk to, colleagues, all the other attorneys and other mortgage professionals, et cetera. And I mean, and even consumers.
We've just had a massive, and we sort of have been talking about it on the show, rates are low, rates are popping down. But we have had probably one of the dramatic drops in interest rates that we have seen in quite a long time. Typically, it kind of inches its way down. I mean, we've seen some dramatic drops. Wednesday, rate dropped 0.1% overnight. So, we'll talk about that. But then you got gas prices are down.
Exactly.
And, so people are sort of looking around and going, wow, I can start saving a little bit of money here. And I can start, socking some stuff away or just being really comfortable with the fact that it's not so expensive in some of our big ticket items now.
Now, can we get rid of a couple of myths? I can pull my credit as many times as I wish without having a negative impact on my score, correct?
Now, the problem with that is you can actually go to annualcreditreport.com and you can pull it and there will not show an inquiry. You are correct. The big time comes into is that all these different software versions, it's going to show inquiries for a lot of these other companies. So when you go to get your score, that's going to show somehow in there because it's a numeric way of reporting it as well. However, you are allowed 10 inquiries within a year. Anything over that, it'll cost you about 4 points for each one. So if you were to go online or go car shopping and they were to shotgun it, as I call it, out to all the different lenders to get a pre-approval, that's where it really hurts you.
I want to talk about one thing, and this frustrates a lot of clients, and typically the clients that when they come to me, I tell them their score is not as good as they thought it was, is because they go to these consumer credit websites like Karma and Free Credit Report, and let's just talk about why is the score that they get on that website different from the score that I pull as a Tri-Merge Credit Report?
It is such different software. Even if you were to use the banks that you use for your credit reports versus another mortgage company or another bank that use different softwares itself. Big companies of Birchwood or Credco or any of those companies, if we were to pull the exact same report on the same day, you're going to get different scores because they do vary. It's different software.
So are they weighed differently?
There's a different way that they're weighed. There's a different way that they're looking at it. Obviously, if you're looking at a consumer-friendly credit report, it's kind of like saying, you know what, hey, I went to kellybluebook.com. My car was worth this, but when I went to sell it, how come it wasn't the same number?
Right.
So we call that the consumer-friendly version, and that's why we try to teach people how to get a temperature gauge on their credit, not the actual hardcore one, because I could come to you with a credit report, but you can't get me my approval without going through your paperwork and your report.
Well, what's the magic that you perform in order to be able to get that credit up where it needs to be?
The first thing we do is we analyze the credit report with the client to explain to them and educate them as to what is on their credit report. A lot of times we'll find out if they have those 30-day lates, 60-day lates, 90-day lates, how we've talked about in the past that you can't be 30 in January, 60 in February, and still 90 in March. It's kind of impossible. But we go through that point structure to help pick up points with that as well. Every 30-day late is 10 points. Every 60-day late is 20, and 90 doesn't have a score value. But we also look at their balance ratios with their credit card, their revolving debt, help educate them on that to keep those balances at 30% or less. But by working at every little angle and everything on there to help build the credit and educate them on it, that's how we average about 97 points within 30 to 45 days. There's a lot of companies that say they can get rid of everything, which nobody can. You can't get rid of your history, and a lot of times you don't want to get rid of your history. The month's revolving history could be helping you, so you want to specifically go after the things that are reporting wrongful to help increase your score, not just try to eliminate the whole history.
Gotcha. I like that. I like the fact that you set some realistic expectations for these clients. That's great.
I had a client call me the other day and was just really nervous and anxious about the process of the offer and the purchase and sale. For some reason, that just sort of scared them. Can you walk us through someone that's buying and what your role is in the transaction to walk them through the offer part into after the home inspection when there might be some issues into the purchase and sale?
I really divide the transaction into two separate phases. I think there's the first phase, which is the offer, the negotiations that goes into an offer, which hopefully is you're going to be helped by a good master negotiator / agent. And then obviously we can take a look at that offer. We can dissect the offer and tell you what we feel about the timing, some of the contingencies that may need to be put in there, etc. Most of the time, we're really not involved in that phase. I think capable agents can negotiate those offers and present those offers.
But you will review it upon request?
100%.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
we get asked every once in a while to review offers, and we're more than welcome to do so. There's no additional costs, obviously, associated with that. Part of the first phase, once you've done your inspection, if it's an inspection contingency, and then really you get into the purchase and sale agreement. A lot of the people think that a purchase and sale agreement is just a standard thing. It's a contract that gets thrown out there. Really, nobody really touches it. Nobody really does anything with it. But there's a lot of things that goes into negotiating a purchase and sale agreement. I mean, it is a legal and binding contract that's got many, many pages and many, many paragraphs. And after we're done with it, we've actually put it on steroids.
Right.
But really, the intent of it is to try to get as much representation out of the seller as possible. And if we're on the seller side, to give up as much representation to the buyer as much as possible.